Who remembers Dillon Danis? You know, the guy who fought Logan Paul, said that he was going to batter him, and he even said he was going to take down Logan Paul and guillotine him. How did that work out, Dildo? So Dillon Danis. I'll say Dillon just in case he meets me in person and chokes me out. Please don't do that, Dillon. So Dillon is back in the press with his recent fight announcement versus KSI. Ooh, it's time to make influencer boxing great again. My channel blew up off influencer boxing at the end of 2023. In fact, I should really message Dillon and say, thanks mate, I appreciate it. When I see you, I'll buy you a pint because you've made me a few bob. But this fight is pretty interesting. I am all for interesting storylines. And in preparation for this fight, Dillon Danis has just released some sparring footage of him and Alex Pereira going at it. And Alex Pereira puts it on him whilst only using about 5% of his superpowers. I also want to say big shout out to all the support on my last video. It's on 1.1 million views. Absolutely insane. Didn't expect that at all. So welcome to all my new subscribers. I'm trying to focus on putting out less frequent videos, but putting more effort into each video. Before we get into the sparring footage, let's actually talk about this matchup. KSI is a silly black goose. He dances around the ring everywhere, looking like he's doing a bunch of star jumps. Trying to fight like Michael Venom Page. He does train out of the same gym as Michael Venom Page, so I understand that. But he doesn't yet have the skills to be able to pull that style off and have a lot of success with it. Now, we did have a little bit of success against Tommy Fury, but it made for a pretty boring fight. I actually went to the Dillon Danis, Logan Paul, KSI, Tommy Fury fight. I did a vlog for it. If you want to watch that, I'll pop it up here or at the bottom of the description.
Tommy!
And Dillon Danis, we don't really know the full extent of his skills yet. He's trained for years with Conor McGregor and now Alex Pereira. So surely this time around, he should be better than he previously was against Logan Paul. So let's dive into some sparring footage and see how he's looking. So first off, there is some old footage of Dillon and Alex Pereira training together. This is on Alex Pereira's channel. We're not going to pause this at all. Now, Alex Pereira's got a fight coming up with Magomed Ankalaev, and there's some talks that Magomed Ankalaev is going to be using his wrestling against Pereira in that fight. And people often say that Pereira's got no wrestling. I actually disagree. It's just that we haven't really seen it in its full effect yet, and usually when Pereira gets taken down, he gets back up. So Pereira training with Dillon Danis, although Dillon is a little bit of a pleb, he's a bit of a knobhead sometimes, and he's a bit of a troll. At the end of the day, he's a multi-time Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu champion, and he's got skills, as you can see right here, and he definitely knows what he's doing with regards to basic level striking. Good sprawl by Pereira there, by the way. It's just I don't think he took that Logan Paul fight too serious last time. I think he'll take this KSI fight a little bit more serious because he's got a little bit of a point to prove. He needs to
Totally redeem yourself!
Right now, Dillon attempts the single leg on Pereira, almost successful with it. We've also got to remember there's a big weight and size discrepancy here, so Dillon's going to struggle a little bit more with the grappling. Now watch this move that Pereira does. This is quite advanced. So he hooks Dillon's left leg, rolls him over, almost gets the full reversal. Doesn't quite, because as we say, Dillon is a high-level grappler. Alex Pereira's trying to push the head down of Dillon. Getting that crotch sniffing going on. Dillon's probably smelling that Brazilian pee-pee. A lot of you guys thought my last video was wild. Pereira's back to the single leg again, and now they are back to standing up. Pereira goes to the body. Now let's check out Pereira's grappling here. So Pereira taking the back of Dillon Danis, getting the hooks in. And this is the common misconception. People think just because we see Pereira KOing everyone, Pereira hasn't got the ability whatsoever to grapple. You best believe he is training his grappling every single day. Don't forget, he's being mentored by Glover Teixeira. I am an MMA fan, guys. Believe me, I'm terrible with pronunciations, even though I've been following MMA since I was about 15. Dillon Danis in full guard here. Pereira sniffing his fingers there after grabbing Dillon's crotch. One of my pet peeves with videography is when you're filming sparring, there's no need to zoom right in. Keep it on a wide angle lens. We want to see everything. So that footage is over a year old. And I know we all like to hate on Dillon Danis, but Alex Pereira had nothing but good words for Dillon after he trained with him a couple times.
Some video clips of you sparring with Dillon Danis before his fight. What was it like training with him, and do you think the UFC should sign him?
Antes da minha última luta, né? E agora também. Um cara mais leve, né? Pô, foi um treino bacana, um treino legal. cara talentoso e, pô, e tá conversando com o UFC pra estar entrando na organização, pô, vai ser o máximo e vou estar torcendo aqui também.
Now, Pereira said this just before that Logan Paul fight, but since that Logan Paul fight, Dillon is now a million miles away from getting signed by the UFC. I don't even think he cares about it anymore. If Dillon signed with the UFC, he'd probably be on a shitty contract, probably getting around 40, 50, maybe 100 grand per fight, and he'd have to build all the way up through a bunch of killers as well. Dillon Danis is like a welterweight, middleweight, I think he fought Logan Paul at, but really he's got the frame of a lightweight, which is absolute murderer's row in that division. So I honestly think Dillon should just stay in his lane, do these influencer fights, make a little 500k or $1 million, build your name up, get a little bit of clout, and then ride off into the sunset without getting too much brain damage. Then in November, this clip surfaced on Nina Drama's YouTube channel, where she's sparring Dillon Danis and Alex Pereira, and then she shows a few clips of Dillon and Pereira having a little spar and grapple, and this got a few people talking. People started wondering, okay, Dillon Danis is still training. Why is he with Alex Pereira? Has he got something in the works? And obviously, yeah, he's got this KSI fight coming up.
No, I don't want to hit you in the...
It's hard to do. No, please.
No, I'm not going to hit you in the face. Dylan, no, I'm not going to hit you in the face. No. No, just block it. Dylan. No, I don't want to. I don't like it. You're a glutton for abuse, dude.
Good? You want it?
Yeah, swear, go. Sure? By all means. By all means, please. Alex is going to do it for all the Ninas. I put it on Alex. For all the Ninas, Alex.
And one thing I love about Pereira is this little leg sweep right here. It's a thing of beauty. I need to learn how to do that. He barely uses any force, any of his physicality, and it's just perfectly executed. As we can see, Pereira and Dillon Danis seem to be quite pally, and I think this is good for both of them. Dillon needs to start taking himself a little bit more seriously now, especially if he wants to win against KSI, because I know a lot of people will just say, oh, it's KSI, but KSI has the potential to beat Dillon Danis in a boring manner, or he could even knock him out. But because KSI's got that weird legs, bums and tums star jump style, it's kind of hard to hit him because he just jumps in with these big blitzers and then you end up in the clinch, especially when you're boxing. So it sounds a little bit silly saying this, but Dillon needs to figure out the puzzle that is KSI. The real puzzle for KSI is some low kicks on that lead leg, but working with Pereira, it's definitely going to sharpen Dillon Danis' striking skills. And then Pereira rolling and grappling with Dillon Danis, okay, bit of a size difference, but whatever, it's still going to keep Pereira's grappling sharp for this Magomed Ankalaev fight. So then 2 days ago, Dillon Danis uploaded this to his Instagram, a picture of him and Pereira. Someone said, I saw this sparring. Dillon knocked Alex down 3 times. That's cap, man. That's total cap. Someone else said, rare Alex L. Shut up, lad. Shut up. Don't ever speak bad about Pereira. Yeah, I'm glazing him. I don't care. He's the Brazilian MMA Chad. And then Dillon uploaded a video of Alex Pereira teaching him how to leg kick.
Entendeu? Agora tô aqui, ó. Aí, Se pular.
No jump, move.
So, shooting.
Knock the guy, close, move. Just a little step, move a little step. Move, just a little step.
We're talking about moving that back leg first before you throw the low kick, but not to the point where you're telegraphing your shot. And then Dillon uploaded the raw sparring footage. Inside low kick by Dillon. Overhand left by Dillon as well. Forgot Dillon's southpaw. That could present some problems for KSI. See these little shots by Pereira? He does them to bait you into throwing a shot, which then he counters. So he counters your counter. Okay, clinching up. Body shot by Dillon. Pereira's just letting Dillon work here. Once again, you can see Dillon smiling. He understands the presence that he is in. Once again, nice left hand by Dillon there. In my video the other day, Cocky Kid tries to KO Alex Pereira. I'll put it up here on the bottom of the description. The problem that we had there is that the lad was throwing a little bit too hard. He was trying to win the spot, and he caught Pereira. And when Pereira was just still playing around and he put his back up against the wall, the lad threw a hard right hand. It was a good setup. It was a good combo. I'm not denying that whatsoever. But he threw that hard shot and then ran away from Pereira. That's what the problem was. Whereas Dillon here landed the overhand left on Pereira, but it was still light. He still kept it playful because he's trying to learn. There's that low kick. You see the way Pereira does that little shift with his back leg before he throws that lead low kick? Big swing attempt by Dillon there. And again, going back to that overhand left. There's that sweep again. So easy for Pereira. This is reminiscent of the Logan Paul fight. The body shot by Pereira. Oh, nice right hand by Pereira as well. The one thing I always like to show on this channel is good examples of sparring. We also show bad examples of sparring, and there is certainly a time for hard sparring. But when you're sparring someone like Pereira, of course he can batter you. So you shouldn't be going into the sparring thinking, right, I'm going to prove myself against Pereira. I'm going to try and win this spar. No, you do what Dillon Danis. You do what Dillon Danis does, and you keep it light. You still keep it playful whilst still getting that work in. But as much of a pain in the ass Dillon is, I can only respect this. At the end of the day, he's trained with Conor McGregor, who at the time when he was training with him was one of the best in the world. Someone said, easy win for KSI. I don't know, you know. I think if Dillon Danis takes this fight seriously, learns what he can from Alex Pereira, he could actually have a pretty decent shot winning this fight against KSI. And I'm not going to lie, I'm invested in it. I do think there's a place for influencer boxing. Of course, we still love the professional MMA and boxing, but there's so many other formats and organizations that are creating interesting matchups. Even if you look at something like street beefs, yeah, they're not professionals. Yeah, 90% of them can't fight to save their life, but it's still entertaining and you can still learn from it. So we got Dillon Danis versus KSI, March the 29th, and we got Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev on March the 8th. These fights are two complete opposite ends on the skill spectrum, but I think these two working together is a net good for fighting, both in the influencer space and both in the professional space. I enjoy reading your guys' comments and your takes and opinions on these fights and situations, but let me know what you think down below. And if you liked this video, YouTube thinks you will like this one, and there's a bunch of other videos at the bottom of the description if you want to check them out. Okay guys, like this video and I'll see you on the next one.